Hey everybody, what's going on? MrEricJenkins coming at you with a brand new video, and today is a very special day. Today we are going over my 50 subscriber milestone. Very strange milestone, but I am beyond blessed to have the amazing support you guys have given me over the past month and a half. I've mainly been doing Pokemon card and trading card card collecting stuff. However, I do hope to diversify and do some media related stuff, as well as some video game related content down the road, maybe some story times as well.
You need to diversify your bonds.
We'll see how it goes. But I promised you guys that I would do a little Q&A so guys can get to know me a little bit better. So this one is for you guys. This is to 50 more subscribers. So cheers to you guys. So let's get down to brass tacks. Don't know if anyone still says that, but I asked you guys to leave a comment with a question down in the 50 subscriber update video. You guys didn't do a very good job with that. However, I also said my Instagram DMs will be open, as well as an avenue for you guys to ask questions on my Instagram story. So link in the description down below so you guys can be interactive with me for what future content comes through. I might do some polls to kind of weigh in and see what you guys want to see in the future. And you guys killed it on Instagram, so I thank you so much. I'm going to preface this saying that I've deleted the messages, I made notes on like what, came through for questions, and I left a few people's names out, so I am sorry if I do not, give you a little shout out. That's my bad. I will try and do my best in the future for that. So let's get down into it. And before I start things off, if you like this type of content, please consider subscribing for future content. Leave a like down below and comment down below with what other content you want to see. All that good stuff. I said continents, not contents. Content you want to see. But please be nice to one another in the comments. Let's get into it with the first question. Bearded Gamer. So shout outs out to you, Darren. What's going on? Why are you so cute? This is my first question. Darren. Nobody knows. Nobody knows why I'm so cute. It's just one of life's great mysteries. Because growing up, I was cute AF, and then I got glasses, and my teeth weren't coming in right, and I got real gangly. Real freaking gangly. But I don't know. I just don't know. Darren is actually one of my reselling friends. Just moved down to Florida, so hopefully you're enjoying the beautiful weather, buddy. I will leave in my description of this video, I will leave his Macari page. He resells video game stuff, movie stuff, a lot of different cool stuff. Always down to make a deal, so, tell him MrEricJenkins sent you, and hopefully he won't double the price on you. But Darren, thank you for the question. This one is from Brandon, so shouts out to my boy Brandon. Favorite cards that you own / would like to own. So he originally said 5 cards. A little behind the scenes sneak peek. I recorded this like 4 times, and it was like way too long. So we're gonna bump that down to 3 cards. My top 3 cards that I like in my collection: Harry Potter Artworks, Goblet of Fire, quad relic autograph from the Triwizards tournament, which has all 4 actors and actresses that played the roles from Goblet of Fire for the Triwizard tournament. 2 of the big names being Danny Radcliffe, Chaboy Harry Potter, and Robert Pattinson. Robert Pattinson, now known as the new Batman, coming out hopefully soon. Also, Twilight. So that's one of those really cool cards. Recent comps on it are kind of out there. Weird. There was like an 8.5 listed on eBay for like $2,000. Graded through PSA. Mine is slabbed with an autograph authentication through Beckett. I didn't really want the card graded because it is actually a very difficult card to grade. But one of my favorite cards, Harry Potter series, always been a kind of part of my childhood. And this is just a badass card. I actually do own it not currently in my possession, but a first edition holographic and first edition non-holographic Dark Charizard from Team Rocket set from 2000. Wizards of the Coast set right after Fossil. Very, very cool pair. The holo is graded through Beckett as a BGS 9, and the non-holo is a BGS 9.5. Those are being sent to PSA as we speak to get crossover graded to hopefully PSA 10s. Beckett is usually a little bit harsher on grading than PSA. If they do come back PSA 10s, a pair like that usually sells for around 4K. Usually 3 for the holo and 1 for the 1,000 for the non-holo. So those are two kind of I pair together that I do love. And then kind of just to wrap it all up, you saw this as well as the Harry Potter card in my card collecting video. It is, or autographs video, sorry. A Topps Darth Vader, James Earl Jones autograph card. Very, very cool card. Just James Earl Jones as Darth Vader, just a super badass character. And the fact that it's a Topps autograph card makes it so much cooler. Comps on that are kind of all over the place, like probably $250 to $300 in the condition it's in. But you know, not the most expensive card, but it's a nice card. And then I'll throw in one more. I own a 2010 Bowman. Bowman Platinum. Sorry. I don't have the card currently. It's actually on its way back from Beckett. I do send some great cards to get graded. It's a 2010 Bowman Platinum Mike Trout autograph card. Card is on the rougher side, but I wanted to get it encapsulated just to make sure no further damage gets onto the card. Probably going to pull a BGS 8 near mint on the card. Autographs probably going to pull an 8 or 9. Nothing super crazy. The card usually sells for around like $1,200. Loot like raw usually around $800 to $900. Really, really nice card. To piggyback off of that, cards that I would like to have in my collection. 2010 Bowman Platinum Freddy Freeman autograph. Currently, the Braves are on their way in the postseason to play the Dodgers. So that's going to be a great game, and Freddie Freeman is in the running for MVP. So mix it up, MV free, let's go. His cards, this is his rookie card. It'll go really well next to Mike Trout's card. That card is relatively inexpensive, but I've been getting a lot of Braves autograph cards lately. I would love to own a first edition Snorlax Jungle Holo, probably PSA 9 because I can't afford PSA 10. Just to be realistic, probably my favorite artwork from the Pokemon Jungle set. And then my fiance and I collected Topps Stranger Things cards starting 2 years ago, like when we got into the show. And we really want a Millie Bobby Brown autograph, preferably from season 1 because those tend to hold their value a little bit more. But from an aesthetically pleasing standpoint, season 2 has a Snowball Dance patch relic card where she's standing in her dress with a patch, and that's autographed as well. Those are a lot more sought after, but the season 1 is very iconic, and we do have a lot more season 1 autographs, so it looked nice in the book. But just any Millie Bobby Brown autograph would be cool. She's just popping off and having a phenomenal childhood, I should say, or teenage years. Not years, because she's just killing it right now. But Brandon, thank you for the question. What is a typical day for you? Okay, so I'm going to preface this in saying that I'm not making light of depression and anxiety and mental illness. This is something that I live through on a daily basis, on a regular basis, so I will never know what anyone else is going through. I'm just going to preface it by saying that. However, we are all in similar boats or in boats in similar ponds, if that makes sense. So I invite anyone to, reach out to me or anyone else in the Pokemon card community, card opening community, video game community. Talk to me, talk to somebody if you have issues with anxiety and depression. And hopefully my content does help out, bring you a little bit of joy to your day. For me, it does, coming out to the garage, going into my office, and just ripping cards. Actually, I'll be 100% honest. Opening cards has been a huge blessing for me. It brings me, it's a nostalgia thing, just opening cards, and it makes me feel like safe for some odd reason. So being able to share that and, you know, like, oh, what's Eric gonna get? It's helping me out, and I also enjoy making content for you guys as well and interacting with you guys. And hopefully I can bring some joy to you guys. But if you need help, please go out and get help. I'm not making light of the situation, because I've recorded this a handful of times and I kind of sounded pretentious when I said what I'm about to say. But I just want to preface it by saying that if you have anxiety, if you have depression, if you have mental illness, not mental, like if there's something that you need to get off your chest, just, you know, find someone to talk to, find an outlet for yourself. So, me being a anxious person, it takes me a long time to get out of bed. So I snooze the alarm like 6 or 7 times until I need to be out of the house 5 minutes ago. So I run into the bathroom, you know, do my hair up, go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, put some clean clothes on, and usually then I start dry heaving. That's my thing, but, you know, too long didn't read version of it, you know, super anxious, gonna be late for school, aka work, get a lot more anxious, and then fly to work. I work at a pawn shop, which I love my job, work 10 to 6, get out of work around 6:30ish. Some nights I go to Walmart or Target to look for cards to rip open for you guys, or for myself, or, you know, if I have to do some, you know, errands, get some packaging material for shipping, because I do resell on the side, or look for something to resell, I do that. Pre-COVID, I would go to, like, thrift stores and stuff like that were, you know, still open, and, but now lately I just come home to my beautiful fiancée. I'm trying to find my fiancée. I don't know why I'm thinking about Seinfeld, but come home to my fiancée Allie, and we will have dinner, just chat about our day, watch YouTube, watch a movie, watch TV together, kind of just chill out. Home is a safe haven for both of us. She falls asleep, I will either play like a video game real quick, or mainly just watch YouTube videos till it's like, for some reason, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. Somehow get to bed and then realize I need to get a lot of sleep because I'm exhausted, mentally exhausted, and then the whole cycle starts over. Weekends, a little bit different. I work 6 days a week, so Sundays is my resting day. Usually just putz around the house and, you know, just make YouTube content. So when I come home from work, sometimes I just make YouTube content. So, but thank you for the question. Sorry I did not get the person's name. I also didn't get the person's name for a couple of these. Favorite food. So I want to kind of break this down. We're going to go apps, then we're going to go main course with sides, and then desserts. I'm a chicken boy. Always been a chicken boy, chicken man, with a chicken plan. Love me some chicken. Wings are like my go-to. Bone in, boneless, I do not discriminate when it comes to chicken wings. The whole debate, bone in versus boneless, depends on the situation, baby. Are they cooked well? They have a good sauce? Boom, give me that bone in. If it's late at night and I don't feel like throwing bones out because I'm lazy, man, I'm going boneless, son. Woo! Really can't deal with a lot of like hot wings because my acid reflux is like super crazy. So don't mess with the hot stuff anymore. I do love like teriyaki or, you know, Asian zing, sweet bourbon, honey mustard sometimes can be pretty good. Weird flavors too. I once had PB&J wings, which weren't too bad, but I mess with all types of wings any day of the week. Give me a thing of chicken wings, let's go. Main dish, chicken parm has always been my top go-to. Love chicken parm. Also really like steak tips with like that are smothered with like onions, peppers, and mushrooms. Top notch. Sides, garlic mash, extra garlic if you got it. Ooh! Mix it up, baby. Mac and cheese, always a classic. And you know what? A traditional just side salad. Give me a garden salad, a little bit of ranch in there. Ooh, good times for all. And then dessert, I am not picky when it comes to desserts. I am a sweet tooth boy. Love me, I got my sweets, gotta have my sweets. But nothing beats a traditional just like sliced chocolate cake or a hot fudge sundae. So keep it traditional as possible when it comes to my foods. I'm not doing anything super crazy, but thank you for the question. This one is from my fiance Allie. So, Allie, thank you. Sorry. Favorite games growing up. So growing up, we actually had an Atari 2600, but my brother and I never actually plugged it in. We just played around with the controllers and the paddles for Breakout. So yeah, that's how they wanted us to play with it, I guess. But we had a Super Nintendo. We had Game Boys, so get right out the gate. Pokemon Yellow was my go-to game. That and Silver for the Game Boy. We had a Super Nintendo, a Nintendo 64, and an original Xbox were like our three big staples until I got to high school. When I got into high school, gaming was almost an addiction. It was my outlet to escape, and I really just wanted to escape all the time. So I played a lot of competitive Gears of War, competitive Halo, and I thought I was really good at Halo 2, but I was actually just trash at it. Better than most, but still not very good at the game. And same with like Call of Duty and stuff like that. But that's high school. Growing up, Super Mario All-Stars, staple, because it's just 1, Doki Doki Panic, Lost Levels, and 3. Zombies Ate My Neighbors, phenomenal co-op game. I played that with my brother a lot. And then Capcom's Aladdin. Huge game. We purchased it at Funko Land. I'm dating myself about that. Funko Land. Went to our lake house, hooked the Super Nintendo up to the rabbit ear TV on wheels, tin foil hanging off the antenna, and we beat it in like an hour. And I just loved the music, the graphics, the gameplay was buttery smooth. Loved it. Those 3 games, instant classics for me. Nintendo 64 was the first console that I purchased. Don't really want to go too many details into it because I do plan on doing a retrospective of the Nintendo 64 closer to the holidays because that's when I did get one. So hopefully you guys will be watching out for that one because that is my favorite console. But games that I do remember playing a lot, Diddy Kong Racing was a essential rental for us. WWF No Mercy, same thing. We rented that game probably we could have bought it like 6 or 7 times at that point. We just make pay-per-views, make wrestlers, and it was cool renting it because you'd see all the other goofy wrestlers that people made, and you'd just be like, what is this? And most people, if you were fat and you played WWF, WrestleMania, or No Mercy, you always looked like the Blue Meanie. Or at least in WrestleMania, you always looked like Blue Meanie. They always made some random fat person do the Blue Meanie dance. I don't know why, but this is a weird time. And then Conker's Bad Fur Day, probably one of my favorite games on the console. Growing up, I didn't think the game was actually a real thing. I saw an ad in Toys R Us when we were walking down the aisles, and it said, not to be played by anyone under the age of 17, and he was holding a beer. And I'm like, you're telling me the squirrel in Diddy Kong Racing that goes, I'm Conker, woohoo, is fighting a giant poop monster and cursing and doing crazy things. I never would have thought in a million years. Original Xbox, Halo 1, big staple. Tony Hawk series is my main jam. American Wasteland pretty much shaped the my soundtrack to my life. Having covers of like current Hot Topic, hard rock, some kind of punkish bands, covering old school punk and hardcore music. Really, really cool way to kind of blend things together. That's how I got to actually talk to people and share older music with some people that never heard of it. Like, hey, you like My Chemical Romance? Well, the Misfits had a song called Astro Zombies that My Chemical Romance covered in this game, and then there's our connection. And I got to share that music with people, and I was just like really, really good at that game. Now I'm not good at it at all. I don't have the thumbs anymore for it. But thank you for the question, Allie. Thank you, Allie. If you can be reincarnated as any Pokemon, what would you be? Mr.Mime, because he's just at Ash's mom's house, just sweeping the floor. Just sweeping the floor. Either that or Nidoran male, so I can become Nidoking. Nidoking is one of my favorite Pokemon. Would say Dragantini, because I know I'm going to become a Dragonite, but bro, I ain't Slytherin. I ain't doing that. I'll be a little mouse thing with horns and then become a big radical dude, but also Mr. Rhyme from Sword and Shield looks like Charlie Chaplin, and that shit's dope. So if I move up to the mountains, I can become a Galarian Mr. Mime, and then, I don't know. But he's wiping floors, dude. Look out. Favorite Simpsons episode. This one is from Shayna, so thank you, Shayna. Couldn't think of one, so I'm going to give y'all 3. Breaking the rules. When I was younger, this is a post-classic episode from season 13 called Weekend at Burnsies. Homer's eyes get pecked out by crows, and he has to smoke marijuana to help heal his eyes. So growing up, I was like, this is like a very strange episode. And then when I got older, I was like, oh, it's funny. Yeah, he's shaving and then rainbows come out. That visual is just wonderful. And then more classic episodes. Camp Krusty from season 4. Really, really awesome episode about the kids' time at camp. Very, traditional, family-oriented, style of storytelling, but loaded with Simpsons humor. And then Homer at Bat, which is from season 3, I want to say. That is the episode where Homer, or Mr. Burns, has a bet with a rival softball team to who's going to win the pennant. And Mr. Burns hires all these former and current MLB pros: Darryl Strawberry, Ken Griffey Jr., Wade Boggs, Steve Sachs, like all these big boys. Homer gets pissed because everyone's, doing the job on the team and he's not. Has probably some of the best lines in it. I love Bart just yelling, Darryl. So anytime someone mentions Darryl Strawberry, I always got to say that. But that's probably one of my favorite episodes, so thank you for the question. Got 2 more we're going to get into. But like I said, if you like this type of content, please consider subscribing. I think every 50 subs, I'm going to do another Q&A. So if you like this kind of stuff, consider subscribing. But thank you guys for giving me some questions. It's been really fun doing this. Sorry for being out in the garage. I enjoy the chilliness of being out in the garage. So let's go to the last 2 questions. We have a game collecting tip that you can share. Sometimes you have to make sacrifices. And I'm going to get into a story about that. I had a gentleman, a former collector. So if you're watching this, you know who you are. Shouts out to you. Big ups. He wanted to get rid of one of his prized possessions, which is now in my possession. However, he wanted to sell some other things as well. So I had to cough up a lot of money. More money than I was willing to spend. However, sometimes you have to sacrifice, you have to spend a little bit of money to make money. So, long story short, I'm not going to go into what I purchased. But I ended up selling one of the games, which was relatively expensive, and got a little bit more money than what I paid for it to kind of allocate the cost of the bigger item that I wanted. And that goes with a lot of things. If somebody posts a GameCube lot on Facebook Marketplace for $100, well, a GameCube is like $70 to $80 out in the wild. And then you see that there's a copy of Thousand Year Door, and you're like, oh man, I don't want the GameCube, but there's good games in there. There's Paper Mario, there's Mario Parties. Grab it. Then you sacrifice $100 to then get rid of the GameCube and get rid of doubles, because now you own that Paper Mario that you really wanted, which is a $100 game. Weirdly enough, right now, you sell the GameCube for like $50 to a buddy, so you're half out of the way. And then there's 2 other games, you get rid of them, $25 a piece. Now you have whatever games you were in the collection plus that for nothing, just a little bit of time and effort. So that pretty much goes a long way. That being said, also scared money does not make money. So I know people that same situation would happen. Oh, could I just buy Paper Mario? And then that is going to induce possible fear and questioning to the seller and say, well, let me look up Paper Mario, and they pull out their phone and they realize it's a $100 game. Then the price goes up on Facebook Marketplace to $250. And you're like, well, what the heck? Or you're going back and forth, and in the meantime, someone slips in their DMs and says, yo, I'll meet you down the street in 5 minutes, I got 100 cash. You miss out on an opportunity to get a game you want and make a little bit of bread in the process. Whereas that person probably has all that stuff. They already know Mario Party is going to go for $50. The GameCube is going for $70. They're all going to go top dollar. And that's just easy bread for them. So that's just a little lesson that, you know, it's for game collecting, like when you're like really basic into game collecting, you know, good kind of things to think about. I've done it with Nintendo 64 stuff. If I had a copy of Super Mario 64 and I found one out in the wild for $10, label looks better. Label upgrade. Well, I'm going to sell my crappy label one for $15. I made $5. Cool. Now I could use that $5 extra to go and you know, buy a manual from this, you know, or a box for this game that I don't know, game boxes of $5, but, or, you know, I could put that $5 towards a bigger purchase. So just a fundamental way of looking at things. And last question, like I said, I want to thank you guys for posting questions to me. It's been really fun answering them, so hopefully I can get some more subscribers so these Q&As can happen more often. Like I said, I really appreciate it. The last question also comes from Allie, so thank you, Allie. She double dipped. She double dipped the chip. Favorite movies. This is always a very difficult question for me to answer, but I can give you my generic staple. Which my generic staple is I don't have a specific set of favorite movies. However, if I want to make a top 10, the order just changes all the time. But my staple movies for what I consider my favorites are Night of the Living Dead 1968 by George Romero. My favorite, that's probably one of my top horror movies of all time. The Great Dictator, Charlie Chaplin's film from 1940. Hugely inspired comedy, first of its kind, it's its first talkie, which I think was like 15, 20 years later after, you know, the ability to have, you know, sounds in films. So he chose to just make silent films. But stupid good comedy. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. It's basically a mix-match, a mix-up of character, but you get a lot of juxtaposition for about an hour and some change, and very, very brutal stuff talking about World War II and you know, Europe during that time. Charlie Chaplin is a silent film actor, for those who don't know, that has the little mustache that kind of resembles Adolf Hitler. So, of course, he decides to make a film mocking Adolf Hitler, as well as playing another role of a Jewish soldier. Jewish soldier comes back from World War I after getting a head injury and goes through living in the ghetto. And then we go back to the rise of this Hinkle character, aka Hitler, and his, you know, what happens with him. And then there's a mistaken identity. If you search greatest speech ever, that video probably will show up on YouTube. So that's one of my favorites. Dawn of the Dead, another Romero film. The early one, not the remake from Zack Snyder, but the Romero version. Very, very cool film. It's got Kenan Thompson's dad from Kenan and Kel in it, and he's killing zombies, and it's dope. Really, really cool message about, commercialism, as well as how we purchase items and our consumption of goods in society, how we're driven to the mall. That's why the zombies stayed in the mall. It's what they knew. Very, very cool film. Practical effects are stupid good. Fireworks are going off. Where the police at? Last movie, very different than these other films, is Toy Story. Toy Story was the first movie that I remember seeing in theaters, and it actually, we have a really cool, grounds with Pixar. My grandfather saw Steve Jobs, what he did with Apple, and he goes, that's a good idea, I'm gonna invest my last, couple bucks in Pixar. And I looked at, I'm as a person in their late 20s, I'm like, why didn't you just buy stock in Apple then? But either way, doesn't really matter. But we'd always get these really cool Pixar promotional things. And it was the first movie I saw in theaters. and it stuck with me. Just the animation is wonderful, the voice acting, awesome, the story is phenomenal. If you haven't seen Toy Story, go see that. That is like top notch. But I want to thank you guys again so much for the 50 subscribers and the questions. I really do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. This video will get uploaded as soon as I can so you guys can enjoy and hear the questions that have been answered by me. So until next time, this is Mr. Eric Jenkins. Peace out.